You hear that? You hear it? It's peace and solitude. You know, for a very long time, since I was a kid, I have always studied or leaned toward or had a penchant for quiet and solitude. When I was a kid, growing up in New Jersey, I was fortunate because I had about an acre and a half of woods behind my house. And it was just thick, dense wood. And I would go there every day after school. I went to a private school. I went to a Quaker school up until second grade. And then I went to public school. But we lived in the same space. So the interesting thing was that when I went to public school for third grade, everybody thought that I had just moved into the neighborhood. But I hadn't. See, I was going to a school that was in Haddonfield, New Jersey, and the public school system was in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. So I was going to school with kids that didn't live in my neighborhood. So nobody knew who I was. So when I would go home after school, before I went to public school, which was just around the corner from my house, but before I went to public school, I would come home and, I wouldn't have any friends in my neighborhood. So I used to go out into the woods in the backyard and create these wild adventures. And my imagination would run, and I would go to these crazy places. I would make up worlds and an adventure into my own imagination. And I think that's probably why I ended up becoming an actor, because I realized that I could become anything as an actor for a short period of time and learn about it and then go on and become something else. And it allowed me to continue growing and experiencing. So I think that may have had something to do with my affinity for quiet and solitude. It's just peaceful. I've never minded sitting in quiet or meditation. I've never had this desire and strong need to be around a ton of people. I enjoy people. I love people, certainly in a family of people with my wife and my kids and our dog and all of our friends and my extended family. But I was never a party guy. I never went out. I didn't drink. I didn't smoke. I didn't do any kind of drug. I just never did. And not saying that drinking is a bad thing for the enjoyment of it. I never did it. And I think that also, I didn't go out to party when I grew up. When I got to college, I didn't really, I didn't hang out at the bars or the I didn't go and party. And I think that all had to do with how I grew up and the choices I made when I was a kid. And so solitude and quiet for some people is very difficult to deal with. I've experienced people who have trouble just sitting and being. Where I could literally sit here where I am. This is this cool tennis complex here where I am. It's like 30 some odd courts. And I'm sitting in one of the bleachers. I could just sit here for hours. Some sounds. Hear the birds, hear some dogs barking, hear a siren way off in the distance. But I could just sit here for hours and be content and think and contemplate and imagine. And it's also allowed me, I think there are a couple of people, there's a, like along this way here, I just discovered this a couple days ago in my neighborhood. But there's like one of those workout paths you can go, and they have different stations where you can do workout. So cool. So every once in a while, you'll see people getting out and doing their exercise in the middle of the craziness that we have here. But I've experienced some people that just can't be, that just can't sit in quiet and just be. But what it allows me to do continually is throw my imagination out into the universe about what can be, about what the possibilities are. And I truly believe that whatever you feel you can achieve and manifest can happen. It's the energy we put forth. It is the outlook we put forth. And we have to dream, but moreover, we actually have to take action and steps toward those dreams. Because dreams without action are just dreams. They're just thoughts. And are we putting action out into the universe, into the world? And so, yeah, I just love sitting and dreaming and thinking and speculating and coming up with ideas and being peaceful. And you can find peace no matter where you are. And I remember my buddy Anthony, Yoga Boy, if you're watching this, great yoga instructor, became a really, really great friend. And he was teaching, he has his own studio now, but at the time he was teaching at Crunch Fitness in LA. And I was going to Crunch to work out, and I had done yoga. When we were doing Carousel on Broadway, there was a yoga instructor that would come 3 times a week. And that's where I first got introduced to yoga, and also first got introduced to the woman who's now my wife. And so I found yoga and I really liked it. And I remember going to Crunch Fitness, and Anthony was teaching yoga classes. So I would go, and they were in, the aerobics room. You know how I don't know, you guys know at gyms, but it was all glass, right? Plexiglass walls. And you could look in. And so we were waiting with our yoga mats to go into the class because there was some other class, some aerobics class before us. And the doors opened, and as soon as the doors opened, people would rush in. They would like push each other out of the way to get in, to put their mats down in the right spot so that they could have their spot. And I remember thinking, everybody's trying to hurry up to relax. And it made me giggle, because I don't function that way. I certainly go on my energy. I can put my energy and just, go full force. But my intrinsic underlying being is really kind of like chill. And it always has been. Some people used to call me lazy, but I will tell you, if achieving what I've achieved in my life means that I'm lazy, then I beg to differ. Because you need to take action, right? And I'm still growing. You're still growing. So being at peace and being calm in the midst of a storm, in the midst of running to get your spot, to do yoga. It's like the eye of the hurricane, right? Or the eye of the tornado. There's calm there while everything else is spinning around you. And it's important, I think, to reflect and to take those moments. Because if you can be a place of stability, if you can be a point of stability, if you can be calm in the storm, the world needs more of that. And you can be there for your friends, for your family, for people you don't know. And I enjoy that. And I enjoy the peace and quiet. So I'm going to go and enjoy more of this beautiful, absolutely stunning day. I hope you do too, guys. Look at this. Look. All right. Have fun.